Morning.
Morning.
What is a parenting course and why would anybody bother to do a parenting course?
Yes, well, I think our parenting course is very different from what most people probably think a parenting course is. And we got into doing this because we both needed the course that we've actually created. And we would have needed it even more, I think, going back 20, not 20, but yeah, 20 years ago when my first child was born. So this video we're making this morning is to speak to those of you out there who might be wondering if they can improve your parenting, and what does that even mean? Improve your parenting. So the people that come to do our parenting courses, you might think that they have some massive big issues or something like that. It's actually really not the case. The people who the amazing women that do our parenting course are in business. They are very conscious beings. They kind of read a lot of the books about conscious parenting. They're really, really amazing, actually, and that's been the most fun part about creating this whole course, has been the women that I've got to work with. And they really understand that they're abundant, that they're infinite, that they're divine beings, and that they have some limiting beliefs, usually that came from their own childhood. And they understand that that is what is interfering with the parenting that they're doing. And when they come to the group calls that we have in our course, which we have 3 a week, they come and do fast EFT with me, which is all about clearing up those limiting beliefs. And that normally goes back to your own childhood. So we find the times when you were a hurt child, or when you felt betrayed, felt rejected, felt guilty. And then we don't clean up that stuff, then often it gets projected onto our children, particularly in times where you're feeling a bit stressed or something like that. Have you got an example of something that you've worked with me on that this changed?
Yes, there's many examples, and one I clearly remember. I used to, with my kids on a Saturday morning, it was always like clean their room days, and I turned into this crazy monster who would be in their rooms and throwing things around, and it was years later that my oldest daughter said to me, Mum, the whole like clean our room thing, we could have done that very differently. You weren't very calm on those times, and I was really impressed that she could say that to me, because if she had have said something like that to me back then, years before, when she was much younger, I wouldn't have responded very well. But when I really recognised my behaviour is I went to my sister's home and I saw her doing the same thing. And actually, about a few weeks later, I went to my other sister's home and saw her doing the same thing. So I recognised that this was a bit of a pattern that we had picked up, and it wasn't necessarily the way that everybody or every mother behaved when it came to asking their kids to tidy their rooms.
Yeah, so it can be really, really simple things that I'm working with parents. It's not always really big stuff, but that is a perfect example. But the next time, like it's bedtimes, it's like standing in your power to ask your children to do something, and or doing it from a place of not standing in your power is very, very different. So these are the kind of things that once we've cleared, and we use tapping process to tap and let go of basically the wounds, the small wounds, the paper cuts we call them, from our own childhood, then things are in your life will change because of the work that you've done. And and what I love is that when I come back the next week and I ask, so how did that go? You know, there has always been a change. There's always something that's happened that has made the routine easier. They've noticed, they've had lots of insights into, oh, that was affecting this and that and the other as well. And things are starting to shift. So that is the brilliant part about working with the amazing women that I work with. They do their tapping, you know, during the week when we're not in the sessions, and we do have a module part of the course as well. Like there's a 8-week module. You can do a module a week, and that's really powerful and amazing too. But the Fast EFT sessions on top of that, to let go of your limiting beliefs and all the I'm not good enough, it's my fault, I'm not worthy, all of those kinds of beliefs that really hold us back from being the most amazing parents that we can be. That's what.
Another key thing I found for me personally and for others who've done the course is when we consider our own values and getting clear on what they really are, and recognizing that perhaps where I thought I'd been firm on a value, it actually wasn't really of high importance to me. It was given to me by either my parents or those around me as I was growing up. And when I got to know myself more and understood my values, I could recognize what was truly mine. But that only became possible for me when I did the tapping, and I could clear up those limiting beliefs, those thought patterns that weren't really my own.
Yeah, that's such a good point. Most of what we're doing is not always about what we would really choose for ourselves, our value for our own lives. It's based on what we were conditioned to believe is a good way to do things. So the course modules actually give you a chance to really examine this and just take the time to examine what's really important to you and to live life from what's important to you. So to finish up, I think the last thing I'll say about our course is that we actually don't offer any strategies or what you might think you would find in a parenting course, which is, if you read a parenting book, it would say do this, do that, perhaps, I don't know. But we don't actually do any of that. It's all about what you'd like to find out, what you'd like to improve, what's important to you. And then we're just, because you're already amazing, you're already whole, you're already abundant. So it's just shifting what's in the way of that, and then that allows you to shine, and then it's so much easier then to see how your children shine. They're really an amazing teacher for us in that way. So we think of it that way, as our kids are our greatest teachers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah. For us to step into a more joyous, abundant, wonderful life.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
And inspire them to do the same.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next Wednesday from the gorgeous Mooloolaba Beach.